Hey friends, and welcome to Yoga with Rachel. Also, welcome to day 5 of our 7-day yoga challenge. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have a lower body stretch, and we will be paying particular attention to the hips as well as the hamstrings. Please bring with you a blanket or a pillow and practice near a wall. All right, let's hop to it and get started. Okay friends, so we begin our practice on our backs. So come on down to the ground. And whenever you arrive there, hug your knees in towards your chest. Place your hands on your knees and then tuck in your chin slightly, creating length in the back of your neck. Just find a gentle sway from side to side, massaging the low back. And then find stillness. Stack your knees so that way they are over top of your hip points. Keep your hands on your knees. And then open your knees wide and off to the side. And then bring your knees back in towards your chest. And then stack the knees over top of the hip points once again. Open the knees wide. Knees come in towards your chest. And then stacking them over the hips. So continue these knee circles. We are moving in a loving and gentle way, offering a nice warm up to the hips. Connect to your breath. All right, one more. Lovely. Now hug your knees back in towards the chest. Keep your right knee hugged in and then lower your left foot to the earth. Hands come to your right hamstring, so interlace your fingers. Your hand now rests on your hamstring. And then send your right foot towards the sky. Point through your toes, so we're really flexing through the feet here. And feel free to keep a generous bend in your knee as well, especially if the hamstrings are feeling a bit tight. Mine typically do, so it's all good. And then just guide that right foot towards the back edge of your mat. Going to a point where you feel a nice stretch in the back of the leg, especially the hamstring. This is a really great stretch to come to if you have been on your feet all day. The legs and the feet may be feeling a bit tired. So this is a great way to bring some energy back into this area of the body. Allowing the blood to flow in another direction. Breathe in here. And then breathe out. Lower your right foot to the earth and then hug your left knee in. Hands come to your left hamstring as you send the sole of your foot to the sky. Flex through your foot, so toes pointing towards the face. Breathe into the back of your leg. Sending some beautiful energy there. Breathe in, and then breathe out to lower your left foot to the earth. Hug both knees in towards your chest once again, hands resting on your knees. Lovely. Now cross your ankles just as you would if you were sitting in a cross-legged seat on your mat, or we're just laying on our backs. And now lift your head and shoulders away from the earth, and your hands grab the outer edges of your feet. And then lower your head and shoulders back to the earth. Find a gentle sway from side to side here. Wonderful. Find stillness. So your hands will remain on the outer edges of your feet for this. Begin to reach your feet towards the back edge of your mat and then forward as we rock and roll the length of our spine. And then eventually make your way to a seat on your mat. Wasn't that fun? All right, whenever you arrive there, bring the soles of your feet together And then allow your knees to grow heavy and ground down as they open up like a book. So my friends, feel free to use couch cushions here. You can use yoga blocks. You can place them underneath your legs for extra support. You can also sit up on your blanket here as well. All right, walk your heels in towards your body if you're looking for a deeper stretch, or take up space. It's all good, your choice. Place your hands on your ankles and then begin to flutter your wings, also known as your legs, up and down in butterfly pose. So we're just exploring a loving and gentle hip opener here. And then find stillness. Interlace your fingers and then place your hands around your toes. Breathe in to sit up nice and tall through the spine, finding length. And then breathe out to begin to fold forward while still maintaining length in the back body. Tuck in your chin slightly. Imagine that you are looking at your reflection in a body of water out in front. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to continue to round through your spine, bowing your head chin to chest. Breathe in. And then when you breathe out, let that be your cue to slowly roll up through your spine, sitting tall. Lovely. Close your legs and then send your legs out long in front of you. Feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Toes point towards the sky. So we're really flexing the toes towards our face. And then plant your hands on the earth to start. Loop your shoulders, rock your pelvis forward to sit up nice and tall. Breathe in here, and then breathe out. All right, lovely friends. Bend at your right knee, so we're hugging our right knee in towards our chest, and then allow the right knee to fall off to the side and meet the earth. Feel free to use your blanket here as well, or a pillow, whatever you brought to the practice. And you can actually just place that right underneath your knee for extra support. So the sole of your right foot will be connected to your inner left thigh. All right, breathe in to grow nice and tall. And then breathe out to begin to walk your hands forward, but still maintain length in the back body. So we're not rounding through here. We're sitting up nice and tall. So that may mean that we don't go so far, right? You could be here, you could be here, you could be here. Awesome. Wherever you are, meet yourself where you are today. Breathe into the back of your leg. Breathe in. And then breathe out to make your way out of the posture. And then bring your right knee in. And then send your right leg out long. Hug your left knee in now, and then guide your left knee towards the earth, and then hug the sole of your left foot in. All right. Breathe in to sit up nice and tall. Breathe out to begin to walk your hands forward towards the top edge of your mat. Again, maintaining the length in the back body. Notice how this side feels in comparison to the other side. Breathe in, and then breathe out to walk your hands back and rise on up and reset. Great work. All right, again, you can still be seated on your folded blanket or pillow for this next posture. Let's send our legs out long, but this time on a diagonal to the body. So no need to go super wide here. You can keep things nice and narrow. Listen to your body and respond. But everyone, point your toes towards the sky. Really flex through your feet so the feet are nice and active. Great. Now place your hands or your fingers on the earth. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Feel the stretch taking place in your inner thighs. And feel free to find a gentle sway from side to side if you are craving a little bit of movement here. Gorgeous. Find stillness. Let's breathe in together. And then let it out through the mouth. Wonderful. To come out of this posture, I recommend closing the legs, bringing them closer together and then bending at your knees. Come to a cross-legged seat, and now let's make our way to all fours. So, for this next series of movement, I highly encourage you to use a blanket to pad your knees or a pillow. I personally like to do this because my knees are becoming more sensitive. So I find that this is really useful. If you do not have one, you can always fold your yoga mat over. Okay, let's meet together in a tabletop position, stacking the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and then rock that pelvis forward, creating length in the low back. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Step your right foot towards the back edge of your mat, and then rock a little forward and back. Stretching out through the wrists, or stretching through the back of the leg, the toes, the foot. And then find stillness. Breathe in. Breathe out to hug your right knee in towards your chest, and then step your right foot through. You can walk your back knee a little bit more back in space to deepen the stretch, to get a nice stretch in the left hip flexor. And this may mean that you need to adjust your prop, so feel free to do so. Your front knee is over top of your ankle. We're light on our fingertips here. Loop the shoulders, look forward, tuck in your chin. Breathe in here. And then when you breathe out, begin to send your hips back as you straighten through that front leg, keeping your whole foot resting on the ground and your fingertips exactly where they are. All right, and then round through your back body, chin to chest. Breathe in to come forward, finding your lunge, look forward. And then breathe out to send the hips back, straightening through that front leg, chin to chest. Breathe in, coming forward, and then breathe out to send it on back. Breathe in to come forward, and there is an option to stay here, or you can bring your right hand over to the left side and begin to walk your hands closer towards that back leg. And now lift your left leg away from the earth. And then with your left hand, grab the top of your left foot. Your right fingertips are still on the earth. Bring your heel a little bit closer towards your glute for a nice quad stretch. So this is why I really feel that the pillow or the blanket is really handy, especially for the knees. So we're pressing away from the earth. Breathe in here, and then breathe out to gracefully release the top of your left foot to the earth, and then walk your hands back so that way they're framing your right foot. Breathe in to look forward, and then breathe out to plant your palms and then step it back to your tabletop position. All right, step the left foot behind you, toes resting on the earth, and we rock a little forward and back. Eventually we find stillness. Breathe in. Breathe out to hug left knee in towards your chest, and then step your left foot through. Hands frame that left foot and walk that right knee back in space for a deeper stretch. Breathe in to loop your shoulders, look forward, and then breathe out to send the hips back. Bow your head, chin to chest. Fingertips remain where they are. Your whole foot is still pressing into the earth. Breathe in to come forward, look forward, and then breathe out to send it on back. Breathe in, coming forward. Breathe out, sending the hips back. Breathe in, to come forward. And again, option to stay here, or you can find your quad stretch. Lift your right foot away from the ground. Right hand grabs the top of that foot, and we stretch it on out here. All right, my darling friends, release that right foot, and then frame your left foot once again. Breathe in, looking forward, and then breathe out to plant your palms, and then step it back to a tabletop position. You can now remove your blanket or your pillow if you're using one. Keep it close by just in case you wish to use it again. And now that you're in tabletop, let's walk our hands closer towards the long edges of the mat. Fingertips really grip the yoga mat. Curl your toes under. Breathe in. And then breathe out to lift your knees away from the earth. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to find a downward facing dog. Start to pedal out your feet. Bending one knee in at a time. Releasing one heel closer towards the earth at a time. And then we eventually find stillness. Really bend your knees to release your belly towards your thighs. And then straighten through your legs, so reaching your heels towards the earth. And it's all good if the heels do not meet. All right, bend your knees quite generously. And then straighten through the legs. One more time, bend. And then straighten. All right, find a nice little bend in your knees. Let's breathe in through the nose. And then open mouth, exhale. Step, hop, crisscross your feet, whatever you choose, to the top edge of your mat. And let's meet together in a forward fold. Bend your knees to protect the low back, and then release your fingertips to the earth. On your next breath in, send your hands high into the sky. Look up. Breathe out to bring your hands together and then to your heart. Loop your shoulders, bow your head, and close your eyes or look down and past your nose. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Paying particular attention to the lower body. How do the hips feel? The hamstrings, the calf muscles, ankles, as well as your feet. Breathe in through your nose, and then breathe out. Open up your eyes, and then place your arms at your sides. All right, I'm just gonna step it on back to center myself. So now we are going to be doing standing toe reaches. So let's kick the left foot out, and it's all good if there's a bend in that left knee. And then with your right hand, you're gonna touch either your thigh, your shin, or the toes. Totally up to you. All right, so it looks like that. And then try it on the other side. All right, so keep these reaches going. So not only are we working the backs of the legs, but we're also working the hip flexors and also the lower abs. So we're standing nice and tall as we do this movement. All right, one more on each side. Bam. All right, awesome work, everyone. Let's go find a wall, and you can do this next stretch without a wall too. I just like to use one for support. All right, so bring your left foot closer towards the wall or the door, whatever you're using, and then step your right foot back, bend into your left knee, and then place your whole right foot on the earth with your toes pointing forward. So we're trying to get a really juicy stretch going on in the calf muscle right here and in the Achilles. So feel free to walk that foot back if you're not feeling a good stretch. Breathe here, breathe deep, nourishing breath cycles. All right, shake it off, and then let's switch. Sending the left foot back or bending into that front knee. The whole left foot is on the earth with your toes pointing forward. Notice how this side feels in comparison to the other side. Beautiful. Shake it off and make your way back to your mat if you journeyed away from it. All right, send your arms from left to right and then step your feet so that way they're roughly underneath your wrist points, and then turn your toes out with your heels pointing in. Place your hands on your hips and then just rock your pelvis forward, creating length in the low back. All right, begin to bend into your right leg. So your knee is roughly in line with either your ankle or a little bit further, but we're still trying to see our big toe. So as long as you see your big toe, you're good. And then we're straightening through that left leg, and then straighten through your right leg, and then send it over to the other side, bending into the left knee. And then take it over to the other side, and then to the left. So continue this action as we stretch out the inner thighs. One more on each side. Beautiful. We meet standing nice and tall on the mat. All right, turn your toes in. So your big toes are facing in and your heels are now pointing out. For this next posture, you may want to widen your stance. It all depends on your anatomy and whatever feels good in your body. All right, hands are still on the hips. Loop your shoulders, draw your elbows back in space to really open up through the chest. Breathe in here. And then breathe out as you begin to hinge forward at your hips. Send the bum back in space. We're stopping at the halfway point just to check in. Find a bend in your knees. And now release your hands to the earth so that way your wrists are underneath your shoulders. All right, so we're pressing into the whole foot, including the outer edges of the feet and the balls of the feet, and as well as the heels. So that way the whole foot is connected to the earth. Wonderful. Option to stay here, or you can continue your journey, releasing the crown of your head closer towards the earth, and then slide your hands so that way they are in line with the arches of your feet. Elbows point back towards the back edge of the room. Wonderful. If you have a yoga block, a pillow, or a blanket, you can place that item underneath the crown of your head if you would like more support. Again, you can widen your stance here in this wide-legged forward fold. It's totally up to you. Breathe into the backs of your legs, into the sides of your legs. Feel the work being done in your feet. Allow your head to hang loose. Breathe in. And then breathe out to begin to walk your hands forward so that way your wrist points are underneath the shoulders once again. Connect to your center, meaning that we're hugging the belly button in towards the spine. Place your hands on your hips and then rock your pelvis forward until you're standing tall once again. All right, turn your heels in, and now we are going to heel toe the feet until they are hip distance apart like so. All right. On your next breath in, send the hands to the sky and then breathe out to find your forward fold. Breathe in to find a halfway lift, flat back position, and then breathe out to fold. Plant your palms on your mat and then step your feet back, finding a plank pose. Breathe in here and then breathe out to lower your knees to the earth. Great work. All right, come to a seat on your mat with your feet planted on your mat, knees up towards the sky. All right, hug your left heel in towards your right glute and then guide your right foot over top of the left. planting your whole right foot on the earth, like so. I'll just show you from a different angle. This is what we're looking like. Okay. Breathe in to sit up nice and tall, and then breathe out to twist to your right. Right fingertips on the earth, and then hook your left elbow around your right knee or shin. Breathe in to grow nice and tall through your spine, and then breathe out to journey a bit deeper into your twist as you look past the right shoulder. Feel free to nod your head, getting a nice stretch in the neck. And even though we are focusing on the lower body today, it's all connected. Let's give the neck a little TLC, shall we? All right, find stillness. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to unravel, coming back to center. And then both feet out in front once again. Hug your right heel in towards the left glute, and then guide your left foot over top of the right leg, over to the right side. Breathe in to sit up nice and tall, and then breathe out to twist to the left. Left fingertips on the earth. Journey into your twist as you breathe in, and as you breathe out. Again, you can find that nodding action here if that feels good. Okay, find stillness. Breathe in, and then breathe out to unravel, placing both feet on your mat once again. And now begin to lean back as you lower onto your left forearm, and then hug your left knee in towards your chest. With your right hand, grab the outer edge of your left foot. All right, now begin to rock a little side to side. So we are massaging the glute. We are massaging the outer hip. And no worries about what this looks like. Just go inward, focus on the sensation. And if you're falling back like I am, embrace it. It's all good. Have some fun. Wonderful. Find stillness. Rise on up, and let's take it over to the other side. Lowering onto the right forearm, hug that right knee in towards your chest, and then your left hand grabs the edge of your right foot. And once again, we find that rocking and rolling motion back and forth, pressing away from the earth, just being mindful of the space between our ears and the shoulders. And maybe you even play around with straightening through the leg if there's a little bit more space. Make this practice your own, just have some fun, play around. That's typically what I do. All right, wow, I'm like almost on the ground. Okay, find stillness, rise on up, cross your ankles, and make your way to all fours. When you are there, tuck your toes under, including that pinky toe as best as you can. I know mine does not really like to connect with the earth. It's all good, it's part of the practice, I'm getting there. Okay, hands are still on the earth. There is an option to stay here, or you can begin to walk your hands to your thighs, sit up nice and tall through your spine. So we are finding an energetic lift. Breathe into the soles of your feet. Breathe into your toes. This is a pretty intense stretch. Breathe in here. And then breathe out to come forward. Hands on the mat. Untuck your toes. Tops of your feet now root down into the earth. Sit back towards your heels once again. And then walk your hands back. Swim your hands behind you, fingertips pointing in. Lean back as you maybe lift your shins and your knees away from the earth, stretching out through the tops of the feet and the ankles. Breathe here. Wonderful. Begin to lower your shins and knees back to the earth. Come forward. And then make your way to a comfortable seat of your choosing. Okay. And whenever you get there, breathe in to send your arms from left to right. Breathe out to draw your hands back in space. Breathe in here. And then breathe out as slow as you can go. Bring your hands together. And then to your heart, connecting your thumbs to your sternum, and then bow your head, chin to chest. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. Take a quiet moment here to notice how you feel. Maybe even taking note of which posture or movement from our class today felt really good in your body. Is this one that you can make use of off of your mat? So my friends, if you do sit at a desk for a long period of time, I highly encourage you to return to this video often. When we are sitting down for long periods of time, the hamstrings and the hips can become quite stiff. So this practice is really great for stretching and strengthening these key areas of our body. So I highly encourage you to return to the practice. And even if you don't have a desk job, if you're up on your feet, this could be a really good one. Or if you just went for a run, really great one to stretch it out. Anyways, let's breathe in through the nose and then sigh it out through your mouth. You can open up your eyes now. Thank you so very much for being here today. That was day number 5, feeling alive. I cannot wait to see you for tomorrow, day 6. We conclude today's practice by saying Namaste.